Recognize that sound? Most people won't. That's the sound of a WonderSwan starting up, and today we have a broken WonderSwan color and we'll be fixing it. But real quick, smack that subscribe button. Now back to the video. Not only are we fixing this amazing device, we are also giving it some quality of life upgrades as well. If you are wondering what a WonderSwan is, click the banner in the top right to go to our short informative video. As you can see, this WonderSwan color is not powering on, and we believe that it's a faulty button membrane. We even switched out the battery to make sure we had a functioning battery. So to fix this problem, we'll be replacing a lot of parts to make this function again. To start off, we'll be replacing the entire shell, the buttons, replacing the screen with an IPS backlit screen, giving it a new speaker, and adding a special Gundam faceplate over the screen. Quick warning for those who do not know, this will require soldering, so please be careful if you're going to fix your own WonderSwan. With that out of our way, let's get into fixing this wonderful device. To start off this process, we need to take out the game and the battery so we can start to get the shell off. With the top of the shell removed, unplug the current orange ribbon wire and remove the motherboard. Since we are replacing the speaker, we need to take the old one off and remove it from the board. Once it is removed, it is easiest to clean, so we decided to take the opportunity to clean with a cotton swab and some rubbing alcohol. But first, we need to unsolder this speaker so it can come off the board. We decided to clean the majority of the motherboard since we don't want there to be any problems with dust or dirt buildup under the buttons or other inputs. With it all cleaned and dried, it's time to replace the speaker. We managed to put our speaker in backwards, which will cause problems that you'll see later in the video. When you're soldering, don't forget to be very careful, not only with where your hands are, but also with where you put your iron so you don't damage the board in any way. Now let's reveal the adhesive and attach it to the board. With the speaker back on, we now are adding in the connecting wires to our secondary motherboard that has not been shown yet. We do not recommend this type of soldering, but the person doing this has a lot of experience, so please do as you were taught instead of what we show. We need to then connect the wire to the chip as shown on both sides. Make sure that the wire is actually connected and will not fall off when it is moved. Next, we put the connecting wire through the hole in the motherboard so we can get to the other side a little easier. You might notice that the other one does not go through a hole, and that is because there was not a viable place for it to go through. Next, grab the secondary motherboard from your kit, and we're going to put the solder into the holes in the corner so we can attach the red connecting wires in just a second. If you do this our way, you want to make sure that there's not too much solder in it so you can still connect the wire. Now, to connect the red wires, we're starting with the one on the side with all 4 button pads as shown. You'll want to make sure that there's a good connection and that the wire is not going to fall off when you put it back inside the WonderSwan. Do the same thing for the other wire and make sure that it is properly connected. Next, get your insulating film and put it on the back of the motherboard and make sure there are no wires under it. With that film on, the next thing you'll want to do is connect the ribbon wire to the second motherboard and prepare your screen. The screen has its own insulating film that you'll want to put on the back to keep it protected. Next, you'll want to connect this ribbon wire into the top port as you can see. Then we're going to get our front shell prepared with the faceplate by first making sure the faceplate fits properly. Then we're going to remove the seal on the adhesive and place it on the front. Now flip your motherboards and screen over and place the screen onto the back of the second motherboard. After that, you will want to remove the film over the screen and carefully place the screen in the center of the shell to make sure it will fit correctly. Next, apply your adhesive around the non-clear parts of the faceplate. Then you'll want to carefully place the screen on top of the adhesive and get it as centered as you possibly can. Make sure all your wires are fine and that the screen is in the proper place. Now we will add the buttons back into the shell on the front. Then we will get the touch sensors ready to go onto the shell by removing their adhesive and then placing them onto the inside of the shell. Once those are attached, we will grab the original motherboard and position it over the second motherboard. You want to make sure there's no wires outside of the shell when you place that original motherboard onto the second one. Now we want to get the ribbon wire into the port. This is a delicate process, so do not be too rough with the wires. We will have to fold the wire so it will make it to the port, but be careful with that. Now we can put the shell back on, and don't forget to screw the screws back in to make sure that the shell won't fall off. And with that, it should be working. Oh right, we need to fix the wires from the speaker. Unfortunately, our camera died while trying to get that footage, so quickly all we did was swap the red and black wires to be in the opposite spots, where the black wire was on the right side and the red wire was on the left. Once we switched the wires back, the console turned on and we were able to capture some gameplay footage of one of the one-piece fighting games from our camera. Thanks to these new parts, we're now able to play these old games with this wonderful device with a new backlit screen for a better gaming experience. This mod that added the IPS backlit screen also came with the touch sensors mentioned earlier. The screen itself now comes with a backlight, so there's no longer a need to have an external light to see the screen. And the two touch sensors each do their own thing. The first one can change the brightness of the screen, and the other one can change the colors of the screen. We will have a link in the description for the screen kit. If you want to know more about the WonderSwan, we have a short informative video about it that you can click in the top right corner, or if you want to see another video from us, click the video in the bottom right corner. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and leave a comment of what your favorite WonderSwan game is.